is a tall guard who can shoot the three. She is nasty on defense. What I love about her is she brings this kind of spark and energy to the court. She is very feisty. She is not scared to go after it. And she, I feel like, will also act as an enforcer on this team. But Sophie is someone also.
Why would a gritty blue-collar guard leave everything she knew to join a team already starring the game's most polarizing rookie? The answer isn't what you think. It's about protection, posture, and a very public promise that's about to change the WNBA. This is Sophie Cunningham's reveal.
I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. And I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball. And I'm a fan. Like, I would love to play with her one day, for real.
On January 31st, 2025, a trade that surprised many landed Sophie Cunningham in Indiana. A move that, on the surface, looked like a simple veteran ad. But from the moment the Fever announced the acquisition, the narrative shifted. This wasn't just about shooting and defense, it was about sheltering a rising star.
Everybody's thinking, did the Indiana Fever give up too much for Sophie Cunningham? I say absolutely not. Who are they going to get at the 8th spot that's going to be valuable, can be an automatic impact player for the Fever? This GM is thinking big, not thinking the future. She's thinking now.
The most revealing pieces came from Sophie herself. Candid podcast and interview moments where she didn't just praise Caitlin Clark, she made a promise to have her back.
I think it's a fun time to be a part of the W. I truly believe that. I think the skill and the talent has always been there, but now it's just the viewership. And so I give a big old clap to the rookie class. I think that's a lot to deal with when you're at that age and you have that many eyes on you. But I think they've done a great job in the league as well. I think the physicality and all that they're going to get used to, but I think especially Caitlin Clark, she's been killing it. And I'm a huge fan, and I never say that.
To understand the move, you need Sophie's entire profile. A shooter with a chip, a player known for physical defense and fire, the type of teammate who will police the arc so a star can operate. She's carved a reputation as someone who pushes back on social chatter and on-court bullying.
We have more breaking news. Another signing just happened. Sophie Cunningham was just acquired to the Indiana Fever by the Indiana Fever. Oh my goodness. Within 2 hours. And guess who was gone? Nelissa Smith is gone.
Tensions on the floor aren't new. Last season, several moments, an eye contact poke and a physical targeting of Caitlin Clark lit up social feeds and left questions about who would answer back.
It's amazing for women's basketball. This is amazing for women's sports in general. You have so many people, so many new and fresh eyes on our sport that maybe they're a little uneducated and maybe they kind of stir the pot a little bit. And so I get that. But for that class to come in, you have her, you have Angel Reese, you have some other big names, but really those two and the amount of millions of followers that they brought to our league, you have to applaud them and you have to be fans of that. Because if you're smart, it's not about money, but if you're smart, you're going to be making a lot more money. Now,
on her own podcast and in interviews, Sophie made her position explicit. She respects Caitlin, she admires what she brings to the game, and she's not here to stand by while others push her around.
WNBA Twitter is currently crashing out over Black Eye Gate. I'm sure we've seen by now this play where Dejanay Carrington pokes Caitlin Clark in the eye. And after seeing this angle, so many people are saying that it was intentional, right? Dejanay goes up to steal the ball, and when she comes down, her hand goes like this, straight into Caitlin's eye.
When the season began, Sophie's approach was unmistakable. Hard screens, physical closeouts, and a visible willingness to engage opponents who targeted her teammates.
And I'm here to tell you, Sophie Cunningham is not going to put up with the hate and the bullying Caitlin Clark has been receiving throughout the WNBA, because we know last year that was a big target for Caitlin Clark, was to get an enforcer. And like I keep telling y'all, Kelly Cristobal is not messing around, bro.
Public moves attract public pushback. Sophie's directness has occasionally spilled into social media spats and viral moments, raising questions about where line crossing becomes controversy.
Natasha Howard, these are plug-and-play pieces. We need plug-and-play, immediate impact. That's what we need. We need players to come in and make immediate impact. And that's what Kelly and Amber has done with this free agency. A lot of people thought the Indiana Fever was going to pull up short. I'm here to tell you, they was playing chess while everybody else in the damn W was playing checkers, bro. They just strategically put this thing together.
Then, in August, the story changed. Sophie suffered a season-ending knee injury, an MCL tear, and the question shifted. Was this mission interrupted or merely deferred?
Nalissa Smith, Robin Lundberg, Nalissa Smith, as we all know, was a borderline liability for the Fever last season. Not sure where the idea she had trade value is coming from. Indiana made clear upgrades. Yeah, I mean, Nalissa Smith had very little trade value. There, basically, when they came back from the All-Star break, Nalissa Smith dropped off a map. She went MIA on the Indiana Fever. I mean, seriously, I voted for Nalissa Smith for the All-Star game. Think about that. And then her behavior and her play went right down the shitter in the second half of the season. She basically no-showed. Yeah, she was on the court. She wasn't showing up.
This move sits inside a much larger league moment. The WNBA is suddenly the center of mainstream sports attention, with new stars, rising viewership, and louder social media pressure. Teams are reacting strategically, not just for wins, but for brand protection.
For the Fever, they're not just going out and trying to sign the very best player that they can find. They're finding pieces, and there's a difference when you go into free agency and you're looking at it through the lens on putting together a team that's cohesive, putting together a team that makes sense, putting together a team that's not going to have drama in the locker room, that's going to have chemistry on the court. That's what they're doing. And I honestly thought the Fever were already in title contention when they signed Natasha Howard and they re-signed Kelsey Mitchell, because we have seen with Caitlin Clark, one of the best attributes of her game is that she elevates the players around her. She makes those players better.
Let's be precise. Sophie said things that matter. She publicly praised Caitlin, said she would love to play with her, and on her podcast defended Clark against critics. Those are Sophie's words, and they were made before and after the acquisition. So why did Sophie join the Fever? Not just for minutes, not just for money, but to stand in the crossfire with a teammate who suddenly had the whole sports world watching. The promise was public. The mission was personal. Whether you call it protection, positioning, or pure solidarity, it's a decision that reshaped debates around player safety and public image in the WNBA.